News has just surfaced that XXXTentacion's alleged killer may have sent a disturbing video to the rapper's young son after being released.
They asked you what your favorite song by your dad is.
Now, people are asking serious questions. What was the motive? Why now? And most importantly, why involve a child? But to understand how dark this situation really is, we need to go back, because this didn't start with that video. It started with another one, a video that should make your stomach turn. Pause for a second and really picture this. A group of grown men sitting on a bed, throwing stacks of cash into the air like they just hit the lottery. Laughing, celebrating, recording themselves like it's a moment worth remembering. But here's the truth behind that moment. That money wasn't earned, it wasn't won, it wasn't theirs. That was $50,000 in cash, taken during a robbery that ended in murder. And they didn't even wait. They didn't lay low. They didn't disappear. They didn't act like men who understood what they had just done. Instead, they turned on a camera and performed. That footage would later be shown in court, and it became one of the most damning pieces of evidence in one of the most high-profile rap murder trials this country has ever seen. Years passed, convictions came, life sentences were handed down. But somehow, that same reckless, cold energy didn't disappear. It came back, and this time, it hit even harder. Because while those men were celebrating with blood money, there was a child on the way. A son. A boy who would be born 7 months after his father was killed. A child who would grow up never meeting him, only learning about him through photos, videos, and stories. And like any kid trying to understand something too big for his age, he made sense of it the only way he could, through superheroes.
They asked you what your favorite song by your dad is.
Hold on. My dad is Batman. He tried to keep the Joker, so he died. My dad died. I'm gonna say my dad for the Joker because I'm Spider-Man right now.
Yeah, you're a superhero.
Yeah.
In a now viral clip, the young boy walks through a house, pointing at pictures of his father. He explains it simply, innocently. His dad is like Batman. The Joker got him, and one day he's gonna save him, because right now, he's Spider-Man. That's not just a video, that's grief filtered through a child's imagination. That's what loss looks like when you don't have the words yet. And that exact clip, that innocent, heartbreaking moment, was reposted by one of the men tied to the case with laughing emojis. Let that sink in. Because before we even get into that, we have to go back to the day everything changed. June 18th, 2018. At the time, XXXTentacion was only 20 years old, but he was already at the peak of a massive rise. His album had debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Sad was on its way to going diamond, and behind the scenes, a $10 million deal was already lined up. But there was something even bigger happening in his life. Just 2 weeks before his death, he found out he was going to be a father. 2 weeks. That's all the time he had to sit with that reality, to imagine a future he would never get to see. And in those 2 weeks, he did something deeply personal. He created a name for his unborn child.
He took a couple of letters from these different characters from his favorite video game, Kingdom Hearts, and he just mashed it all together.
If it was a boy, Gekume, a word he invented from scratch, inspired by characters from Kingdom Hearts. He defined it himself. A different state, a new universe of thought. A name for a son he would never get to hold. And that detail right there, it stays with you. Because everything that happened next didn't just take a life, it created a story that would keep unfolding long after the camera stopped rolling. Boatwright wasn't searching to prove innocence, he was searching for control. That Google search, accessory after the fact, wasn't about truth, it was about managing the narrative inside his own crew, trying to calm people down, trying to keep everyone aligned. But that strategy collapsed the moment Robert Allen started talking.
A person who had any measure of human decency or remorse for killing someone would not likely be seen dancing around and filming themselves with the stolen money. How proud you were of yourself. Mr. Boatwright, you turned a robbery into a murder. And on that day, when you stood there and fired that weapon, you didn't just end one life. You effectively ended 5 lives, including your own.
Once Allen flipped, the entire structure of the defense began to fall apart. Attorneys tried to shift the spotlight, bringing up outside names, even attempting to drag Drake into the conversation. They floated theories about industry conspiracies, outside forces, anything that could create reasonable doubt. The judge shut it down almost immediately. No evidence, no relevance, just noise. And when the jury looked at the actual facts, there was nowhere left to run. Surveillance footage, DNA on the masks, statistically impossible to ignore, phone records placing them at the scene, and Allen's detailed step-by-step testimony. It was over. On March 20th, 2023, all 3 men were found guilty on every charge: first-degree murder, armed robbery. And then came one of the coldest moments in that courtroom. As the verdict was read, Michael Boatwright turned toward the family of XXXTentacion and blew them a kiss. No reaction, no remorse, no humanity. Just a man who had already decided none of this mattered. Sentencing day, April 6th, 2023. Judge Michael Hewson walked into that courtroom and didn't sugarcoat a single word. First, Trayvon Newsom. The judge acknowledged something important. Newsom probably didn't wake up that morning planning to be part of a murder, but then he made it clear that doesn't change the outcome. Newsom was sentenced to life in prison with a 10-year minimum mandatory. Then came Dedrick Williams, the man who spotted the car, confirmed the target, and helped set everything in motion. He never pulled the trigger, he never grabbed the bag, but he made it all possible. And then he went home, sat on a bed, and filmed himself celebrating with stolen money. The judge brought up that exact video, the cash flying through the air, the smile, the laughter, while at that same moment, a family was being destroyed on the other side of the city. Williams received life in prison. Then came the shooter.
Michael Boatwright, the man who fired the shots, the man who showed no remorse, the man who blew that kiss. And this is where things got different. Judge Hewson didn't just give a sentence, he painted a picture. He described, slowly and deliberately, what the rest of Boatwright's life would look like. The cell, the walls, the stainless steel bed, the routine. Every hour, every day, for the rest of his natural life. Boatwright was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences with no parole, plus an additional 30 years. No exit, no second chance, no way out. The 4th man. Then there was Robert Allen, the one who stayed in the car, the one who didn't pull the trigger, the one who made a different decision. He cooperated. In August 2022, Allen pleaded guilty and gave prosecutors everything, the full blueprint of the crime. When he stood in court in May 2023, he didn't try to minimize it. He spoke directly to the family. He said sorry wasn't enough. He said if he had to die in prison, so be it. And for once, the judge believed it. Allen received 2 years in prison with time served, 20 years of supervised probation. He was released on October 26, 2023, less than 6 years after the murder. But then, everything got twisted, because after that release, the internet did what it always does. It mixed 2 separate stories and turned them into one. Headlines started spreading. A killer got out and targeted X's son. But that's not exactly what happened, and the truth is disturbing enough on its own.
the Instagram incident. The person behind it wasn't Robert Allen. It was Michael Boatwright, the shooter, still in prison, still serving life, exactly where the judge said he would be. At some point in 2024, a phone made its way inside that prison, contraband, and from that phone, posts started appearing. One of them was a video, a small boy walking through a house, pointing at pictures of his father, speaking in the only language he understood: superheroes, hope, imagination. That clip went viral because it was real, because it hurt, because it showed what loss looks like through a child's eyes.
They asked you what your favorite song by your dad is.
And Boatwright reposted it with laughing emojis. Not just that, he followed it up by posting a screenshot showing that the boy's mother had seen it, and he laughed at that too. That was the point. Not random, not accidental, intentional, calculated, cruel. Then he went even further. He reposted the old video, the one with the stolen money, the same footage shown in court. Blood money, thrown in the air again. This time, from behind bars. The posts spread fast, especially after DJ academics amplified them. The backlash was instant, massive, because people weren't just reacting to disrespect, they were reacting to something deeper. A man who took a life, mocking the child left behind. And even after all of that, in October 2024, Boatwright posted again, "I'm not sorry for nothing." Years later, still no remorse, still performing. The truth versus the headline. Here's what matters. Boatwright, still in prison, responsible for the mocking posts. Allen, released, no verified harassment, no confirmed involvement. But the internet blurred those lines, and the story spread faster than the truth ever could. What still remains? No matter how the story gets twisted, this part doesn't change. A killer found a video of his victim's child, posted it, laughed at it, and went back to his cell. And that child? He keeps growing. As of 2026, he's 7 years old, in school, being raised by a mother who made one promise: he will know his father, all of him. And one day, he will know this story too. But he'll also know something else: who his father was trying to become. A young man who talked about helping people, feeding families, giving others a way out. And that part, that doesn't die.
So I knew that feeling, and I wanted to comfort anybody, because I found a way out through the music.
Because while the men who did this will spend the rest of their lives behind steel walls, the legacy they tried to erase is still growing, stronger than ever.